Hello, my name is Thiago, and this is once again an attempt of making a podcast of the Wikidata weekly summary. I tried to do this a couple of times using ChatGPT and AI, but now this time I'm trying to do it live and do it using artificial intelligence. That means basically me reading the summary for the last week. So let's see. So this is the last week's summary. Let's go through what happened next last week. This, of course, was on Monday. Today is already Friday, so this is a bit outdated. So, but let's go. So, in the first part of the Wikidata status upgrades, we have some discussions of requests for adminship. So, we have some users asking to be a user asking to become an admin. I actually don't know these users, so and I'm not very involved in admin issues. And then here we have another bots with conversations about projects, and I don't really am super interested in that. Once more, we have linked data for libraries affinity group call that we can join. It seems very interesting, but I never really got to make it. So uh, I should make some time to join it eventually. Here we have a workshop on knowledge graphs and LMs at ACL. ACL, I think it's a big computational conference, the American Computational. I know exactly the details, to be honest. But the committee is quite good. And we have some liquidations there. We have a lot of people that work with knowledge graphs. So if you're doing work, probably this is something you're going to be watching out for. The deadline is May 10th, so you can submit an abstract to that. We also have the wiki workshop that's happening later in the year. It's the workshop from the Wikimedia research community. It's not Wikidata only, but it's Wikidata also. Always really good interactions in the whole topic of Wikimedia and inter-wiki relations and the research on what makes the project so good. All right, so let's see what happened in the news this week. So press, articles, blog posts, and videos. Okay, so Azure, a long-term developer of Wikibase Cloud and Wikidata and other topics in Wikimedia, basically. He made his 20 and 23-year review, which probably included a bit of sailing and, well, some posts and information and, well, not much Wikidata there, but maybe sometime. Here's some other videos. I actually took a look at them. Okay, so we had the Wikipod AI feature here. Yeah, it was not the best, but it worked okay. And then good that someone put it there as a feature. The Dancing Digital Project, a Wikibase instant sharing lot between itself and Commons that seems interesting. It's a long talk, a long conversation with a few different. Uh, okay, let's go more. And notebooks, a timeline tree of tabletop role-playing games queried using Sparkle from Wikidata. Um, I always see this observable HQ kind of notebooks. I've never actually done that, but it seems like an interesting way of connecting code and log, like a Jupyter notebook, but published and shareable. So interesting anyway. So yeah. So query data to retrieve pairs of tabletop role-playing games with properties. Right. So if you like games, that's probably interesting for you. Two of the week. All right, so user year rand and diff lists, the appearance of recent changes, and well, some cosmetic changes apparently. Wikidata topic creator to well, I already took a look at this. This is yeah. Let's see the history of that. I forgot his name. Very nice guy, developer. Was in the Wikimedia hackathon. Yeah, Dennis Priscorn. Yes. Probably related to WikiSite and adding topics to items about, I don't know, journal articles, scientific articles, books, and so on. So the main subject and to help people and do this. And Outward is Navigator. This was probably featured still of the week at some point in the past, I hope. Um, Let me see it. Yeah. Probably yes. It's a very long-standing too for disambiguating names of authors that maybe James Baker or James F. Baker or James Kenneth Baker and all this mess around strings and how you can make it better in Wikidata. So nice feature of the author disintegrator again on the two of the week. A note long-standing too. All right, newest properties and property proposals to review. Um, this is the ones that were generated. So we have has cabinet, a value that advisory committee to the United head of state, so some specific relation for representing politics in some way. Mm, some course in the International Standard Classification of Education. Appeals to linking a court or other body that hear appeals from the subject's decisions. So a lot of very specific properties. I don't think I'm going to read all of them, but maybe take a look and see phonographic copyright. This was some discussion a while ago about the different types of copyright that you have in music, kind of. I remember kind of this discussion in the past, I guess. Um, Normal graduation time, the expected time for graduating in the course, multiplier of normal graduation time. That's interesting. Um, Top scorer for a competition, the best scorer of single season of a team sports competition, or the best ever scored of history of competition. Seems like an interesting and straightforward property. I don't know if there are databases for that, but probably something that can be extracted, and it's interesting in many ways. So nicely it was created. Many different external identifiers. They are always there. Always good. Reinforcing the whole of role of Wikidata as a hub. We have global plant type specimen ID in JSTOR, so biodiversity related, the Dictionary of Old English, Great Plains Herbaria taxon ID, Trismegistus god ID. That's a database for ancient gods. You see, people are interested in all kind of stuff in the Wikidata community. All right. So now the property proposes to review. So people wants to add an ID for the Hindawi Foundation books, uh, castrate number, a number for a registered subject in a castrate. Not sure what that is. Seems to be under work. Latest and date and thesis start leaf morphology, characterization aspects of the shape of a plant leaves. Yeah, that's interesting, guys, and probably useful. I'll take a look at that later and perhaps give my support. Did you know? Well, now we finish the property and property proposals, and we go into the did you know part of it. Uh, this part of the status updates always comes with query examples that we can take a look and inspire ourselves for our own queries. So we have a graph of ancient philosophers, master-student relationship. So the tree of teaching in ancient philosophers and properties for UK Lake. So this is a bit more specific, and the source is from the Wikidata request a query kind of platform. So if you want to make a query, but you don't really know how to make that in Wikidata terms, you can go in Wikidata request a query and ask the community to do it. That's something that you can do besides asking ChatGPT to do it or asking people on Telegram to do it. Or asking a friend to do it. It's really interesting because then here you have an archive and you can get different people to jump in and provide different solutions for your query. Okay, so these are the counts of properties used by lakes. That's a meta kind of query that's very interesting. So most lakes, if not all, have instance of and country values, and well, perhaps because these were just for UK, so you need these values for retrieving the items themselves. So you have coordinate locations, the county, the UK lakes portal ID. So the IDs once more making a participation in the Wikidata landscape. So yeah, nice queries, nice ways to flow through. So this other query, this graph of ancient philosophers, it doesn't take to the Wikidata query service. It takes us to querychats.toolforge.org, and I had never seen this before actually. So let's see what this query chest is. It's perhaps some tool to freeze the response of the query. I'm not really sure of what this. Maybe in the source code there will be a README, and I can have a better idea of what query chest is. Let's group. I also forgot his name. He was in the Wikimedia hackathon also. Yeah. Flask app to hold Wikidata query service for you. I'm not really sure why this was run here and not on the Wikidata query service, but well, always good to see what people have been working on, right? Uh, Finally, let's see. Well, okay, no, let's still go in the. Did you know? I got a bit sidetracked with the queries. It's always a fun part. The newest wiki projects, the wiki project Looted Heritage, aiming to use Wikidata to document looted cultural heritage. It focuses on the colonial era, but also encompasses other periods. Its scope includes artworks, sacred items, human remains, and all forms of artifacts considered a part of a people's heritage. So this is one example more of people that are very engaged with social issues on Wikidata and using linked data as a tool for moving society forward. So always good to see these projects. I actually don't know personally the users, but good that they're doing this. And yeah, check it out if you're interested in heritage and justice in a broader sense. All right. Um, Wiki project highlights. There was a highlight in the Stadium Museum Wikidata cleanup, a process of collecting the data from the Stadium Museum, the works of art, and putting that on Wikidata. Very interesting. Database reports. These are queries that are made by Wikidata team, if I am not wrong, that are trying to take a look in things with that could be improved on Wikidata. So, for example, you have genderless people with Facebook ID. Probably these people do have a gender, and you could perhaps check on Facebook who they are and maybe what gender they identify with. A showcase item, Varanus comodoensis, or Varanus comodoensis, if you want to have that in English. It's a species of reptile. It's the Komodo monitor, or in Portuguese, the Komodo dragon. Um, an instance of taxon, a nice image of the Komodo dragon nicely laying on the sun. You have also he little perched on the rock or in an interesting position. Here we have a video of him like putting the little tongue outside him and walking with this big venomous claws on the ground. The short name, the mass, 70 kilograms with a reference. The taxon name with a lot of information, the taxon rank, the parent taxon, the taxon common name. And this is pretty complete, and that's probably why all the taxon range image map, always good to have those. And this is a nice image that shows the Komodo Island and the related islands in the archipelago where you can find the Komodo dragon. The length of the Komodo dragon, the main food source. This was very nice work by someone that really wanted to get all the information the Komodo dragon. So check out this example, the Komodo monitor, if you want to have an example of what a very nice taxon looks like on Wikidata. Also, lexeme Scala means stairs in Italian. Probably a very nice lexeme. Let's open it and take a look too. So Scala, language Italian, feminine, and then on an example, hanno colori che si lasciano classificare per mezzo di una scala cromatica. And well, this was it has different senses, and it's a pretty well complete Lexine. To be honest, I don't have much experience with Lexines, but it looks really good. Uh, it was made by Luca Favorito, so probably someone that is quite interested in making Lexines better. So, and Italian, of course. Very interesting. Thank you, Luca, for the example, and thank for whoever put this in the status updates. And with that, I end the Did You Know session and go into the development bit. All right, so the development updates for the next last week, we have IP masking, where the team added redirect related parameters to most wiki-based API modules. And then you have the announcement and the fabricated ticket. There was a migration of the node version in Turnbox SSR. And they made also a legacy Turnbox remember. I'm not really sure what that is, so I'm going to just skip. A lot of security fixes always need to Wikibase so we can keep using it safely. If you are a tech person, you can go and see all the open tickets related to Wikidata, and you can check the tasks needing a volunteer on in Fabricator. And with that, it's over. That's it. That's this weekly status updates. I didn't do it with AI this time to try and have it on a more human basis. To be honest, I prefer it that way. Probably is not as interesting, or at least not as well structured, I'd say, because I didn't have a script and I just went through and keep talking. So probably this is less interesting to listen than the AI tailored version. But yeah, who knows? Let's see. Let's experiment with that and see how we can make this podcast work. All right. So thank you all for listening. I didn't have. I had one person looking at live, but now it will be here forever, and maybe you find that interesting. So let me know if you find that useful, if you have any tweaks for that. And yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.